Now joined by the President of the Black Business Council, Dr. Danisa Baloyi. Thank you for joining us,
Thank you for having me.
What were you hoping for in this midterm budget speech, and what do you think we got?
I think we got an even kill type budget, and I think we were expecting the minister to come up with a budget like that, but I know as business, we worry about some of the things that he hinted at, like the
Tax.
T word, tax and wealth tax, which is now being talked about. That would concern business. But the minister's back might be against the wall, and he might not have any other choice. I think there are choices that we can make as South Africans, and he spoke about them yesterday. He said to us as business, we need to open up and have more people participate, meaning established business has to open up to newcomers, and it must open up to black business. So our economy is more transformed, more accommodating of people historically left outside. I think, I've been saying this and people think it's funny. It's not about black business or white business or yellow business or pink business or green business. It's about South African business. We have to come together. And of course, I speak for black business in the sense that it has been left outside. But what the minister was saying, we have that capability. And the capability comes from the fact that we're sitting on a lot of cash as South African business. And we need to deploy it to start new businesses, to activate some of the projects that can't go on because they are not being funded, catalyze the business arena for more people to participate in the economy. That way we'll start to grow. To be at 0.5, we couldn't even make 0.9. Even though some are saying globally, if it's growing at 3.1%, we should get comfort. I think we can't as South Africa, because with our triple challenges, we need to do something to mitigate and for our economy to grow. He spoke about shared growth, inclusive growth. How do you achieve those if we don't spend the money? We want business and investment to come into South Africa, but we're sitting on piles of cash, minimum around 700 billion that we haven't deployed. We need to do something, and our plea is that we'll keep on pushing. However, there are some things that the CEO's initiative has come up with, and maybe we'll talk about that.
Okay, so I hear what you're saying about inclusive growth. Presumably, no miracles will happen before February. So let's just touch on those taxes you mentioned.
Yeah.
What do you think about a wealth tax? Because there is resentment about wealth still being in the hands of a large group of white people, maybe that top 10%,
Yes.
still predominantly white.
Yes.
What do we need to do about that resentment? Because a wealth tax is essentially equated with a white tax in some people's minds.
But think about it this way. When you are a multi-billionaire, and we now have trillionaires, and then you're sitting at the backdrop of all of that wealth, there's so many destitute South Africans. Let's look at what the minister said. He's going to deploy 17 billion towards the students to really help out as a sign that government has heard the students cry. And as parents, we should be grateful for that. It might not be enough for the students because they might still, but I'm saying it's something towards that. Let's think about those. If you have all of that and others have nothing, it might just make sense for you to want to share. And
So should it be voluntary then?
Well,
Maybe people coming
once
together.
it's a tax, it's not voluntary. But I spoke about the CEO's initiative, where the businesses are saying, we'll put some money to see if we can help stimulate growth through helping businesses that have the potential to grow quickly, like in tourism, like in manufacturing. But We need more. They deployed about $1.5 billion, and it's their money, so we should be grateful they did that. But and government is going to match it according to the plan, but we could do more. This is one initiative. Let's do more. And now, I think the top 10% that you're talking about should think about it, shedding a little bit of that. And I think if they voluntarily did this, maybe Minister Pravin might not think of the wealth tax, but I think we might not avoid it, because where else will he get the money? The economy is not growing.
And we may get a corporate tax. You spoke about how difficult that is. You also spoke about the fact that companies are not spending. South Africans aren't investing in themselves.
Yeah.
But you must agree that the political uncertainty is adding to that. Are you, as the BBC, concerned about what's going on? The fraud charges highlighting this rift within the ANC itself.
Well, I think every South African should be concerned. But I think from our point of view, we're not politicians, we're business people, and we want an environment that will make sure that business grows. So I think the people sitting in Cape Town, they must get their act together and make sure that the environment for us to do business is positive, and it enables us to move forward. Because even though we are business people, what happens in the political arena affects us on a daily basis. Some people would say, would you take sides? What's your view? Mm-hmm. And I
want to ask you that, because the outgoing CEO signed that document in support of the minister, concerned about the economic impact.
I want to actually clarify that. He didn't sign that document in his private capacity. He signed it on behalf of the many business organizations that he represented as CEO of the Black Business Council.
Okay, so are you all behind him? That's the question.
There are many things in that document that we're very, very happy about. And contrary to the belief that there might be something amiss or adverse about him signing on our behalf, we're not unhappy about it, because if you look at that document, it looks at some of the things that are problematic today, particularly in business. It also touches on some of the political things that are talking about, where maybe at a personal level, I would say, as business, is that maybe what we should try and avoid is to do the work of the judiciary, do the work of the Chapter 9 institutions, because if it backfires, then we as business get affected. I would sooner that we said, let us all be equal,
partners in it.
Equal in front of the law, within the law, rules of the law, and that if we're talking about Minister Pravin, let Minister Pravin's rights be reserved, be respected, and he must get a fair chance to defend himself, and let there be no interference in the judiciary. Let us test that our organs of state, like the three pillars of our sovereign state as South Africa, are intact: the judiciary, the executive, and if we interfere, we'll have problems. It's the same as people asking, should the president step down? My view is that our constitution says the ANC put the president there. The ANC has its own ways of removing the president, and then Parliament has the final say. As Danisa Baloyi, I might have a view, but I have no power.
Well, this is so interesting, because I think people are wondering, should business have a voice, or should it stick in its corner and just do business? What do you think is the role of black business right now, given if what the finance minister is saying is true, that we're at a crossroads, that what we do now really counts?
Actually, actually, I agree with most of the pronouncements he made. And I was joking with some of my friends. He sounded more like a political person than the finance minister.
Yeah.
But what he
philosophical.
said, he was more
yeah.
philosophical. But he was on point. He spoke about divisions that are not helping us. And we go back to the Pickbother zebra story, or you shoot the white stripe, the black stripe dies, or you shoot the black stripe, the white stripe will die too. Zebra, gone, kaput. I'm saying we all need to put our hands on deck to make South Africa one again. I think the things that separate us are less than those that bring us together. Why has it suddenly become so fashionable to grow apart? It's a problem for me. It is a problem when black professionals feel that they don't have a home in most of the corporations, that they are slowly becoming extinct, that they are not recognized. And yesterday I used Al Gore. I love Al Gore. I love what he has achieved. But at his age, there are black people who have the same qualifications. If they came up with the same idea as Al Gore or something similar and said, I want to start something like Discovery, would they get the support? The chances are they wouldn't. And we can't have a South Africa that is like that. It needs to be consistent. We see our stars regardless of what they look like. We propel them, we give them opportunities, and South Africa will be a winner. At the moment, we're not doing that, and that's very bad.
Well, thank you for being so open with us this evening. I wish we could carry on talking. Thank you. We appreciate your time. Dr. Danisa Baloyi, President of the Black Business Council.